one of the problems, we had a lot of problems with CBS as a record. Our biggest problem we had with CBS as a record label for King was they, in senior management terms, and definitely senior A&R terms, they thought we were a novelty band. They could never get past the Dr. Martin boots and the long hair. And so whilst we kind of perceived ourselves to be a fledgling, I don't know, Roxy Music to grow, they just saw us as basically Rollers and Kelly or something. And consequently, in real terms, you know, we did have that breakthrough in 2005 with Love and Pride and the album. And by the time Love and Pride had come out, and by February, they'd already think, okay, give us the next album. It was just like, well, there's more singles on the record. And they're like, no, there's no more singles on the record, give us another album. And that was really a kind of, it was a cultural thing of where they, the people who we were working with just didn't really see us as a serious act and didn't believe there was a longevity there. And it's very hard to fight that. And in some ways that did cause it contributed to the break of King, because obviously the frustrations of trying to work with us and people what you are as a music was to come from it. But yeah, Spiky Fridge I always thought could have been a good single, but they weren't interested in another single from the album.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose Fish could have been a single.
Yeah, it's cute.
Carry on a little bit about King. And you just talked about the breakup.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, before we go there, let's talk about how does it feel, or how did it feel at the time, the fact you always dedicated torture to Elaine Page and Brian Dixon. Did it ever bother you really that you never got that number one?
It didn't at the time. I think, as I said earlier, with youth, you're blessed with overconfidence and arrogance, and a lot of that went to play with King, without a doubt. I think we got as far as we did through having that kind of, particularly in my case, just overconfidence about we're going to be the biggest thing ever. And you kind of have to have that to even get anywhere. And I remember talking to Peter Powell, who was a Radio 1 DJ at the time, big name of that era, and he was like, oh, we didn't get number one, I'm really sorry about that. And I was like, yeah, it doesn't matter. There are many more, it's just like, slightly embarrassed about it now, but that's the way I kind of felt. It's just like, yeah, it's not a problem. It's fine, we'll get another one. There's more of those to come, don't worry about us. We're going to be huge. So I wasn't bothered at the time. I'm not really bothered now, just you accept it for what it is. But I think we had potential to do more. I think with the ingredients of the group and what they were, particularly because there was a good live band King, there was good musicians there. I looked at people like Depeche Mode. For me, were a great example of that. I mean, Depeche Mode when they were starting off were incredibly, far more pop than we were in the sense of, they were promoting like a boy band, electro pop band. And I never saw King as a boy band. We did end up being in those magazines because that was there, and I didn't have a problem about being in the smash hits and jackets and stuff. And again, I grew up in an area where I would see David Bowie and Brian Ferry in Jackie magazine and stuff like that, and I thought, well, that's fine, we can do that. We can have teenage girls going, wow, and we can have the boys going, yeah, that's cool. You can have